Do you ever wonder why we don't hear any success stories or achievements that people of color have experienced in Canadian history? Well, I did. When I was a young girl, I was turned off by Canadian history. All I heard about was Christopher Columbus and others, always believing it was them that added beauty to this country. The ugly stories concentrated on slavery, which caused me to close my eyes to Canadian history. As time went on, I barely opened a textbook to educate myself about the hidden truths and beauty, until one day, as an adult, my eyes grew open, as it was time for change. This is why the beautiful pictures and names of some of my heroes created such a thought-provoking video, to encourage others like myself to open their eyes to see the wonders of our people of color in Canadian history. The question is, who were they? Portia White, raised in Halifax, sang in church choirs as a child, became a teacher and taught in Black communities, actually in Africville and Lucasville. The Halifax Chronicle called her the singer who broke the color barrier in Canadian classical music. Rosemary Brown, elected to provincial legislature of BC in 1972, the first Black woman in Canadian history to be a member of Canadian parliamentary body, an active member of the NDP, professor of women's studies, a determined feminist who promoted equality and human rights. Her goals were to eliminate sexism in textbooks, increase female representation on boards, and prohibit discrimination based on sex or marital status. Viola Desmond, also known as Canada's Rosa Parks, humiliated and arrested for sitting in the all-white section. She chose not to sit in the all-black section because it was time for change. Ed Blackman, longtime civic labor leader, a gentleman and great QP trade unionist who was well respected by all. Bromley Armstrong, a man who did his research to identify Jamaican domestic workers brought to Canada by wealthy Canadians. Dr. Carrie Best, a woman of color who fought the battle for equal rights for Nova Scotians. She was the founder of Nova Scotia's first newspaper for Blacks. And Albert Jackson, an escaped slave through the Underground Railroad who overcame prejudice and became Toronto's first Black postman. Our future is significant to Canadian history. Why? It's our children that will make history, and this is why we need to educate ourselves and our children, as the textbooks and literature that we come across continues to exclude people of color. This is our right in a land of freedom, to know what we have achieved, as this gives us hope for our young, to become the next Rosemary Browns and Ed Blackmans, and to achieve equality for all. My challenge to you is to do the research and spread the truth about our proud achievements that should be shared with all. Here are a few names that will add a smile to your soul. Marianne Shadd, Leonard Braithwaite, Stanley G. Grizzle, Lincoln Alexander. If you dare not act upon the challenge, you will do yourself injustice by not supporting equality. All we want is equality for people of color.